this experience with someone. Preheating call centers attract a rogues gallery of characters. Snacks weren't allowed on the call floor, but we had one who stuffed snacks on her person. Wherever there was room. In the bra, along the legs. Literally whatevs. One fine day she stands up for a moment and a sue. The call center conundrum. A call center, it seemed, was a magnet for a motley crew of individuals. A strict no snacks policy was in place for the call floor, but there was one employee who had developed a rather creative way of sneaking them in. It didn't matter where she hid them, concealed in her bra, wedged between her legs, or even other unlikely places. She made sure to have a stash at hand. One day, as she stood up to answer a call, a soup can slipped out of her clothing and landed on the floor with a clatter. Our supervisor, ever vigilant, was quick to pounce on the situation. Julie, caught red-handed, was taken aback by the supervisor's question. "Are you preheating that?" The absurdity of the situation was not lost on me, and I burst out laughing at the sheer ridiculousness of it all. Edit. I will add more stories like this one later. Update. I might add some context or background information to make the story even more interesting. TLDR. A call center employee found herself in a sticky situation after being caught sneaking snacks onto the call floor. Haven't masturbated to porn in a few weeks. It's been a little over 2 weeks that I've masturbated to porn. I went on a trip with a friend, so I wasn't able to rub one out for a week, and when I came back, I decided to stop watching porn since it was perfect timing. I still view so. Recent abstinence from pornography. It has been nearly 3 weeks since my last bout of masturbation accompanied by pornographic material. A trip I recently took with a friend provided the ideal opportunity to abstain from this habit, as I was away from home for a week. Upon my return, I seized the chance to reevaluate my behavior and made a conscious decision to abstain from consuming pornography, even if it's just for viewing purposes. However, I do occasionally glance at certain content. I remain optimistic about the potential benefits of this change, including the possibility of achieving personal growth or enhanced self-control. Furthermore, I am hopeful that this newfound self-discipline will lead to a healthier approach to masturbation. If anyone is aware of the benefits of abstaining from pornography, I would be grateful to hear their insights. Edit. This response was generated to provide a rewritten version of the original text, maintaining the same message and intent. Please, stop panic buying. I work in a grocery store. And the shit that I've seen today, had to deal with today, really set me off. I had to break up a fight over a loaf of bread. A poor elderly man couldn't find a certain multivitamin for his wife because all of the V. Cease this senseless panic buying. I'm a grocery store employee, and the chaos I've witnessed and had to manage today has left me appalled. I was forced to intervene in a dispute over a basic loaf of bread. An elderly gentleman struggled to locate a specific multivitamin for his ailing wife, as all available stock had vanished. A woman with type 1 diabetes was on the brink of a medical emergency due to her inability to find suitable alcohol wipes for her device, which left her shaken and struggling for stability. Please, I beg you, for the sake of reason and compassion, halt this panic buying. Just needed a place to express my frustration. What is this tactic called? Every time I try to confront my mom about something, or tell her how something she did makes me feel, she will respond with something along these lines. She just shuts down completely. Well, I'll just never speak to you again then, IG. Deflecting responsibility. A common parental response whenever I attempt to express my feelings to my mother or discuss her actions that affect me. She tends to respond with defensiveness or guilt, ultimately shutting down the conversation. Her reactions often take the form of, "I'd rather we never speak again, then. You must think I'm a terrible mother, don't you? I just can't seem to do anything right. Your life must have been incredibly difficult because of me. You clearly think I'm a bad person, don't you? If that's your opinion, I'd rather not be a part of your life. Your life must have been incredibly hard with me as your mother." Edit. This behavior is known as deflection or defensiveness. Deflection is a coping mechanism where individuals shift the focus away from their actions or behavior and onto someone else. In the context of parent-child relationships, deflection can make it challenging for children to express their feelings or concerns. Update. Deflecting responsibility can be damaging to the parent-child relationship. It may lead to feelings of guilt, anxiety, or frustration in the child. Children may become hesitant to express their feelings or concerns, fearing their parents' reaction. TLDR. Deflection. AITA. For leaving a friend because he wasn't on time? I usually pick a friend up for work in the morning, and he's been pushing it to the last minute as I wait out front recently. I don't think I should have to wait. If he makes us late, then I'm obviously late to work. Should I have ended my friendship due to chronic tardiness? In the mornings, I often pick up a friend for work, but he's been consistently making me wait at the last minute lately. I believe it's unreasonable for me to continue waiting while he's running behind schedule. When we're running late, I'm also affected since I need to get to work on time. This morning, he was again late, and I waited for 25 minutes, which left us with only 10 minutes to get to work. Barely enough time considering our usual 7 to 8 minute commute. As he was still nowhere to be found, I called to let him know that I was about to leave. Unfortunately, he didn't answer, so I had no choice but to leave without him. This morning's incident further strained our friendship, and he texted me expressing his anger. Despite his reaction, I've come to realize that I can't continue to accommodate his tardiness at the expense of my own time and punctuality. I'm choosing to prioritize my own needs and well-being. Am I the asshole for ending our friendship due to this chronic issue? Keep asking me for updates? Okay. At work last week, my boss and coworker kept asking for progress on getting a quote for our customer. I was waiting for various suppliers to reach out with information and kept replying, no movement. After a dozen asks between the two of staying informed. A lesson in communication at the office last week, my supervisor and colleague repeatedly inquired about the status of a quote for our client. I was waiting for multiple vendors to provide necessary details and responded accordingly, stating that there was no update available. After approximately a dozen requests from the two individuals, I chose to take initiative and provide more frequent updates. Throughout the day, I would periodically interrupt any lulls in communication by saying, no movement. Eventually, after an extended period, my boss finally acknowledged my efforts by saying, okay. I replied with a straightforward message, just keeping you both updated. Continuing to provide updates for hours, I ensured that the team was well informed until the quote was prepared and submitted to the client. TLDR proactive updates and regular communication helped to keep my team informed of the status of a client quote. Update the Story is an example of how proactive communication can help alleviate the pressure of constantly asking for updates. Edit This anecdote highlights the importance of staying on top of communication in the workplace to avoid unnecessary repetition. My JNMIL takes it deeply personal when my daughter cries for me, so my daughter attempted a sleepover at my mill and Mill had to call me at 10 because my daughter was screaming for me. JNMIL takes this to heart and feels as though she's failing as a grandmother, she also said. My mother-in-law's reaction to my daughter's tears leaves a lasting impression recently. My daughter spent the night at my mother-in-law's house.